Tell you what, it's nice and dry and not windy outside. What do you say we play hooky from the shop work today and go do a little field work?
Do that, see what it does.
I sure would like to get a head start on spreading that litter today.
Heck yeah, we need to at least.
Yeah, well, let's get things hooked up and get to the field.
All right.
You know, it did a whole lot of drying up last week, and it's and the wind died down today, nice and dry. It's not going to be that way for long. Rain's supposed to return tomorrow, along with 15 to 25 mile per hour winds, and we got a whole bunch of litter to spread this year. So if we can get any kind of early jump start on it, that would definitely be beneficial, because we got about the same amount of acres to apply as what we did last year. But we're applying a higher rate on about half the ground, so we've got more litter spread, which is going to take more time. I know last year it took us dang near a week to get all of our litter spread, and that was putting us up right up against planting time. And sure would like to get a head start on it this year. Well, first we got to jump our tractor off. We got an almost dead battery. Come on, baby. If I known we was going to do this day, I would have plugged her up. I tell you what, man, we've got more use out of this Noco Boost jump box than I ever thought we would. You know, before we bought that box, I would have had to haul the battery charger up here to the gym, find an extension cord, plug it all up and everything. But now, for the most part, we can just grab this thing, go jump off whatever we're trying to start, and go. It is such a huge time saver. And I never thought that you could have a battery inside here that's that small, but it's that powerful. All right, got everything hooked up and lubed. Andy's fueling up. Last thing we got to do is make sure we get the chain tension adjusted properly. I don't know if you can see, but it's sagging a good bit. Definitely needs to be tightened up. All right, we got 3 1/4 inches on the other side. We got 3 1/8 on this side. May tighten the other side up just a little bit. Another couple turns. All right, that's got her. Yeah, so you say you don't approve of the smell?
It's a little different today.
I think it's just that outer crust. Once we sink into the middle there, it's getting nice and dry, and it smells like it did when it come out of the truck.
Yeah.
All right, well let's get us a density here, and we can plug that in the computer, and you'll be ready to roll. All right, the way we're going to get the density is we're going to measure how much a 5-gallon bucket weighs, and then that weight times 1.5 should give us how many pounds per cubic foot. I think this is gonna be relatively light. It ain't got the moisture in it as what we had last fall. Yeah, it don't smell that bad. I don't think Kelly's gonna kick me out of the house tonight. Let it settle a little bit. Hope our battery's good. Oh, 32 pounds times 1.5, man, that's gonna be like 45 pounds per cubic foot. That's pretty heavy. Yeah, 30 pounds. All right, put your density at 45 pounds per cubic foot in the monitor. That's what it's measuring at.
All right, so we got the buggy ready. So let me get the screen ready. Set our density at 45 pounds per cubic foot. Our application rate is going to be 2 tons an acre. Go back to our work screen, put her in gear. Kick it on. Alright, it's showing it on the screen. Make sure that chain's turning. The chain is turning. Ooh, Matt's getting covered on it. I know he's getting tilted right now.
And it started right on the first try there. That new ISO plug in that tractor is working like a charm. So we're going to have a little bit of dirt work to do out here. We got a septic system line that just got put in this winter from a new house that's being built there. Landlord's daughter wanted to move out here, but we're going to bring disc and do all over here, smooth this up because it's pretty dang rough right now.
Ooh. They just dug a big septic tank out here. Good night, you sure can tell it. Holy moly. Let's try to keep our windshield intact today.
Okay.
Looks like it should be. Running at 850, my PTO speed. I'm pretty sure that's right at.
It needs to be at 1,000 RPM. Yeah.
Okay.
And you're spreading a little bit far away from the edge. Remember, it's only 12 rows wide, so 6 rows. And I know over here you was a little far away from the edge there.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to do a little dirt work out there. It's just a little bumpy.
Lord, that is a mess up there.
Yeah. All right, roll on. Oh man, look at that spread pattern. I mean, it's just about as uniform as you can get right there. I'll tell you what, buying that Salford BBI Endurance Spreader a couple years ago, one of the best things I've ever done. I wish I'd done it a long time ago. By the time we get done spreading this spring, that sucker will be paid off and what we saved in application fees. You know, right now it's saving me about $22 an acre in application fees to get this litter spread. Yeah, it's time consuming and it seems like we're always short on time, but anytime you can save $22 an acre, it's well worth it. And I mean, that thing just does an absolutely fantastic job. The only thing I would do different if I had to go back and do it again is I would have bitten the bullet, spent a little bit more money and gotten a 24-foot bed rather than a 20-foot bed, just so, you know, we could hold, you know, another acre's worth or so of litter in there, and to be less, you know, driving back and forth to the pile to fill up and everything. But that rate controller on that spreader, I mean, it is just spot on. Makes it so simple and easy, you know, to get it to spread extremely accurately. Weigh our product density, plug it in the monitor, and I mean, she's off to the races and just spot on accuracy. Yeah, one of the reasons that we're starting to spread litter a lot earlier than last year is, well, we got great conditions to spread litter here first part of March. Hadn't had any rain for like a week and a half. The wind's been blowing pretty good most days, so really dried this ground out and really blowing some dust today. But the other big reason is that this farm, and I was hoping to get to a second farm today. I don't think that's going to happen, but we're going to have soybeans on this farm, and this litter's got a lot of nitrogen in it. And for the same reason that and the reason we want to get it spread early on the soybeans is so that nitrogen that's in this litter has a chance to either leach out through the ground or be taken up and stored by the cover crops, because we don't want a lot of free nitrogen in the soil when growing soybeans. Now, soybeans are a legume, and being a legume, that means that it's got a symbiotic relationship with bacteria that causes it to produce its own nitrogen. And if you got a lot of free nitrogen in the soil, it causes those soybeans to be lazy. You know, they don't form that symbiotic relationship with the bacteria. And then when you get in the grain field, because you don't have that symbiotic relationship with the bacteria, the soybeans can run short of nitrogen and actually hurt your yield. So we want a lot of this nitrogen in the litter to be gone by the time we plant soybeans, and you know, soybeans get started producing their own nitrogen. But if you know, we got a great looking cover crop growing out here, and if this nitrogen can get taken up by the cover crop, I mean, it'll help us get more biomass to put more carbon in the soil. But later in the year, when this biomass is breaking down, it will return that nitrogen back to the soil to where the soybean plants can then take it up and hopefully give us a nice little yield boost. Kind of like putting like a supplemental nitrogen application on, you know, late summer. Now, whether that happens or not, you know, that depends on a lot of, you know, environmental factors, the weather and all that kind of stuff, but that's the theory behind it. I do know for a fact that we will definitely be better off getting the litter on our soybean ground here in early March rather than, you know, early to mid-April like what we did last year. But anyway, here on this farm we got, it's an 80-acre farm. I think we had 6 loads dumped over here, so that's going to be about 180 tons, putting down 2 tons an acre. You know, we should have, you know, around 20 tons left over whenever we get done with this farm. And then the other farm one will have soybeans. We got about another 80 acres over there. Like I said, we're not going to get over there today. You know, getting a late start, had to get everything hooked up, because I was not planning on spreading litter day. I was planning on being in the shop, and then, you know, walked outside, you know, wind wasn't blowing, you know, nice and dry. I decided there on the fly, like, hey, we're gonna spread litter today. So had to get everything hooked up and serviced, and I'd definitely like to get moved over to that farm tomorrow and get it spread. I just don't think the conditions are going to be right. National Weather Service is calling for like 15 to 20 mile an hour winds tomorrow, and we got a pretty potent storm system coming in tomorrow afternoon, and just don't think conditions are going to allow us to spread tomorrow morning, but we'll wait and see what they look like. Well, I sure wish I had one of those big bucket loaders like what we saw at the farm machinery show. That would definitely speed up this process quite a bit. I mean, we got a pretty big bucket on the front of this tractor that we bought when we started spreading litter, but it still ain't going to hold what one of them big loaders can hold. right, we got a problem. Andy got loaded up, went all the way back to start, and he says the chain will not turn. All right, I hope there's nothing wrong with that chain because there's a whole lot of weight on there. All right, hit the switch. Let's turn it on. That switch is turning all the way it should. We got pressure. All right, on. Yeah, she won't turn. She won't turn. I don't know if we got too heavy of a load on it or what. I don't know. I say pull it up next to the pile. I'll try and push some off the top. We'll lessen the load on there and see if we can get it turning that way. Yeah, I don't know. We've never had this happen for me. We put big heavy loads on there before. Try and scoop a little bit out of there. All right, we got a pretty good bit out of there. Let's see if she'll work. All right, Andy, try it.
I saw the chain jump a little bit that time.
Keep turning it on and off, see if maybe it'll break loose. All right, so I don't think the problem was too much weight on there. All right, I called Steve at BBI. He's been just an absolutely tremendous help with us on this spreader, and he's kind of thinking, the way it sounds, one of our motors here is gone bad. And feeling of them, this one's significantly warmer than this one right here, so most likely this motor's gone bad and oil is bypassing it. And of course, I mean, you're losing a lot of pressure with it just bypassing this, and then not going to be enough pressure going to this one, and this one couldn't turn it anyway. That's why it's got two motors running in conjunction, because it takes a lot of torque to turn that bed chain. So he gave me some things we could try out to let all the oil cool down and stuff, and see if our pressure starts rising, because it was only showing about 1,350 psi of pressure, and it should be showing over 2,000 psi of pressure whenever the pump and everything is running. So anyway, we're going to do a little bit more diagnosing here, and we'll let you know what we figure out. All right, we was able to adjust the pressure relief a little bit and get the motors turning again. So most likely we got a problem with the motors back here, one or both of them getting worn out. They feel about the same temperature to me. So I don't know, but most likely that's probably going to be the problem. So Andy, the question is, do we risk trying to spread any more today, or do we call it quits?
I don't know what to say on that one. I'm sure we could keep doing half a loads, but there's no telling.
That's a long ways to drive back for a half of a load.
A lot of
yeah, I mean, if they're going out, it could stop at any moment. Well, I tell you what, it wouldn't be any fun starting the year without risking something. Let's keep on trying to spread, but if it gets to the point where we got to adjust them again to get it turned, we'll get the spreader emptied and we'll call it a day.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Let's try that and see if we can at least finish the day out, and then probably tomorrow we'll yank the motors off and get them checked out. Yep. Well, I tell you what, looking at the markets today and what they've done in the past week and a half, I sold at the right time. Well, actually a couple days after the right time, but last week and a half, corn's lost over 60 cents a bushel. Soybeans, between 50 and 60 cents a bushel. Man, I sure am glad I sold the rest of my crop instead of rolling any over to the next futures months. Otherwise, I would literally be beside myself right now. It's very rare that it seems like I make the call and hit the top of the market, but I came I came pretty close on selling a big part of my corn crop at the highest point in the market since last April or May. So we didn't have a great big corn crop next year, but I got pretty much everything that it was worth last year. So I got to feel good about that. And I'm glad when I sold the rest of my crop, I went ahead and booked a little bit of 2025 corn, and glad I did. And after seeing what it's done, I wish I'd done a lot more, but there's still a whole lot of time in this marketing year. And you know, historically, like 6 out of the last like 15 years or so, the high point of the corn market has come in June. So we'll definitely still have some pricing opportunities in the future. Just hate to see this corn market sliding, but on the other hand, it could be beneficial for corn prices this year, because you know, with the market dropping right before planting season, could be quite a few producers that decide, hey, I'm not going to plant as much corn this year. So acres of corn could be down. If acres of corn are down, that means that the price could go up. So we'll have to wait and see, but it ought to be interesting anyway what's going to happen this year. Well, did the rest of that load run out okay?
It was spreading like a brand new buggy. Should spread.
All right, we'll try loading her up one more time. All right, I'm gonna load it a little light this time. Try that out. Just hope the chain turns.
Okay.
Yeah, we probably got about 2 less tons on there than what we normally put. So hopefully it won't give them no problems.
Yes, it is. You don't think that screw really loosened up? You don't think it could or tightened up? You don't think it could work loose on its own, can you? Or does it?
I mean, the jam that was tight on it. Either there's a problem with that relief valve, or there's a problem with the motor. So, but considering we still got around 2,000 tons to spread when we're out tomorrow, at the very least, I'm gonna yank those motors off and have them looked at, just to make sure we don't need them going down in the middle of spreading.
Yeah, no, definitely need to at least look at them. But it's weird how they're working so perfectly right now.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and load you up all the way this time. We'll see how it does. How much more you got on this farm, you reckon? So about how many more loads you think?
I'm guessing 2.
Alright, this is going to be the last load of the day. I don't know, I think there was more over here in this pile than what I was thinking. I want to get the load sheet. But we're going to go ahead and fill him up. He's going to need about half the load to finish up. And then there's some real thin spots on this farm. I'm going to have him go back and double spread it and try to get those poor spots built up a little bit quicker. I don't think that our spreader is putting out incorrectly, although if those motors are getting weak, I mean, that it might be, but it's got a sensor on there showing, you know, revolutions, and it'll let Andy know if it's not you know, if they're not spinning the correct revolutions. But I just think as heavy as this litter was, they're probably hauling more than 29-30 tons per load.
Well, I don't know what all y'all can see or not, but I am back at the shop with the buggy. The buggy is empty, and the thinking we did that running the last couple loads out actually worked out. We didn't have any other problem with our hydraulic pumps or hydraulic motors at all on the spreader with the last couple loads. So I don't know if there's it blew a chunk out in the middle or what, but I'm backing it up to the shop door right now, and we are pulling those motors off, and hopefully we don't find anything too interesting in the morning. All right, that's where she sleeps.
How much oil draining out of the hoses?
Not just too much. This one is definitely about to have more. It didn't even leak out until the threads were all ready.
Well, we're going to wrap up this video here. Like I said yesterday, we're going to pull these 2 motors off and have them checked out, because we're going to be out of the field for a few days, and we got time to do it now. I did some research, and apparently these motors right here are crap. Like, they don't last long at all. They're really cheap motors. They're imported motors, and I've heard some reports of like them failing within like the first 3 months, and we're going on our 3rd year with it. So considering that stalled out yesterday when it shouldn't have, best thing to do, just go ahead and pull them off and have them torn apart and checked out. If they check out fine, we'll put them back on, but if they're showing a lot of significant wear, they could have caused an issue, we're gonna put some new motors on there. But I think I can get a lot higher quality motors. They're gonna be a lot more expensive, because I think these motors right here, I think Salford told me they're somewhere around $400 a piece. Now I can get some upgraded, a lot better quality motors that should last a lot longer, but they're probably gonna cost about 4 times the price. But when it's time to spread litter, we gotta be spreading litter, and we can't afford for this thing to be down waiting for new motors and stuff. So, all right, please slide off of there. Oh, nice and easy. All right, the key looks good, so. Oh, it turned out to be way easier than what I was anticipating. A whole lot easier than tearing the fertilizer buggy apart, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. A lot less rusty too.
It's definitely the right time to be doing it, because it's way too windy to be spreading today, and I think we got some storms rolling in after lunch. Have you seen that squall line moving out of Oklahoma into Arkansas?
I didn't pay much attention to it. Was it scary looking?
There's a whole lot of red in it. All right, I'm gonna take these down to more pumps, have them yank them apart, see what the verdict is. While I'm gone, you gonna pay some attention to this ladder you got into last year? It takes a spider monkey like you to climb up that ladder right now. It's just a little bit in. Yeah, if you can take it off and do what you can to straighten out the braces and stuff, and if you can't quite get it, I'll finish it up when we get back. All right, it took a whole lot of heating up and strategic placement of clamps and bending and stuff, but I think it's a lot straighter than what it was. It's not going to be ever perfect again, but it's pretty dang good. So we'll let it cool down and form into place, and then go mount her up. And let's get a wire brush and clean this up. I'll see if I can track down some black paint. All right, Andy, you think you're going to keep this one in one piece here?
I'm going to try. Gonna try. Might add a little bit into it. Yeah. Hopefully not.
Hopefully I'll get a word back on our motors like this afternoon or tomorrow morning, and we'll know what's going on with them. So I'll wrap up the video after I hear back from more pumps. Also, I keep on forgetting to mention this in every video, but if you like the gear we wear and stuff, be sure to go to www.farmmerchbin.com. Got a long list of merchandise over there, from tumblers, shirts, hats, license plates, hoodies, you name it. They got it over there, and also got several other YouTubers over there. Chronicles of Kayla, Dylan Joyce Farms, Crop Critic, Thomas Farms TN, and several others. Not only will you be supporting us by buying the merchandise, you'll be supporting another local family-owned business that makes all the merchandise, takes orders, and ships it out and everything. So anyway, we'll wait and hear back from more pumps, and then we'll know what route we need to go on the motors back there. All right, folks, give y'all an update on the motors on the litter spreader there. More pumps just pulled them apart and said they couldn't visibly see any kind of wear on them. They look just fine. They're going to put them on the test stand, and if there's any kind of wear that you can't see, the test stand will show. But don't think the motors were the problem. I don't know, maybe we got a problem in the pressure relief valve, maybe had a little piece of trash stuck in it, or maybe got problems with it. So if we continue to have problems with buggy stalling out, then I guess that's where we're going to check. So anyway, I guess that's good news. We didn't get junk motors on the spreader, not going to have to sink, $3,000 on 2 new motors, so that's good. I kind of wish we knew exactly what caused the problem though. Anyway, I'm sure the saga will be continued here in a week or two whenever we get back on spreading litter again. So anyway, guys, appreciate y'all watching this video. We'll see you in the next one.